Good afternoon, everyone. And once again, welcome back for the second session of the day. So, to take this journey forward, I would like to call upon my partner, Neeta Grover, to introduce herself so that she can facilitate the second session. Neeta, please take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinky ji. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Neeta Grover, associated with Heartfulness Institute as a practitioner since 2016, as Heartfulness trainer since 2019, and as a zonal facilitator for Heartful Campus program. I'm feeling privileged to be a part of this heartful journey. Every moment is a choice. We all are the product of our choices and not the victim of the consequences. On behalf of Heartfulness Institute, I take this opportunity to welcome you all once again to the second session of this wonderful journey of leadership mastery through self-management, which we all have started together and are enjoying together. To take this journey forward, before I invite the heartful speaker of this session, let me introduce you all to her. She has done her BE in Electronics and Computer Engineering from VJTI, Mumbai, and Masters in Computer Engineering from Colorado, USA. She has work experience of 6 years as hardware microprocessor chip design and verification engineer in Connexent, Quantum, and ST Microelectronics USA. As far as her journey in heartfulness is concerned, she is heartfulness meditation practitioner for last 18 years, heartfulness certified meditation trainer since 2019, actively involved in imparting heartfulness meditation sessions under various initiatives. Heartful Campus State Facilitator for Goa, Brighter Minds Facilitator for enhancing cognitive observation, memory, and intuitive skills in children. She has been part of the curriculum design team for value-based spiritual education for schools, and also as it is coordinator in Goa. And she has been involved as essay event coordinator in Goa, which is conducted at all India level by Heartfulness Institute in collaboration with UNIC, United Nations Information Center. Let us all welcome Ms. Preeti Pai for taking us along this awesome journey. Over to you, Preeti ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. Respected dignitaries, faculty members, and all our participants. A very good afternoon to all of you.
Audio is not clear.
It's not clear.
Preeti ma'am, audio is not clear. Her voice is not clear. Please check the connection.
Is it better now? Yeah, is it better now?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Respected dignitaries, faculty members, and all my participants, a very good afternoon to all of you. It's a very joyous and grateful moment to be with all of you all. The one who are going to guide and lead future leaders. My journey has been similar. I started this heartful journey when I was a youth as a student. And what was spoken today morning, just a few takeaways from that is the feel, the intuition, the wisdom of the heart that guides you is amazing. And we are on that journey. And the vision that we see is to make bold thinkers who will be transforming themselves and the society. So I'll just share my screen right now. Okay. So a quick recap of what was done. We talked about action, we talked about code, and we talked about context. In connection, we created an environment for the students to connect with each other. And the key thing for a leader is how well he connects with people. The second is the core values, and that leads a leader. The inner core, the foundation of values. And we prepared the shield. And the next was context. And what context are we talking about? A good leader is always aware of the context. He sees the need before anyone sees, and he leads for the good of all. Now, all this
I am
was
I'm able to hear, but not with.
okay. I'll just
So what do we do?
I'll switch my connection. Just try.
No, no, no. No, no, it is also she is in Goa.
Is it better now?
Slightly better, definitely.
Okay, okay, okay. So we're going to go into an action mode. So we're going to talk about choices, causality, and then community. And this module of choices is very critically placed here. Let's look further into this. As we are going to go into the facilitation board, we'll be facilitating the students. We pose them with questions for them to introspect. So one question for you all, you can type in the chat box, is what are choices? How do you define a choice? What is a choice? Please type your answers in the chat box. What is a choice? Preferences. Comfort in giving to you, yes. Choosing one among options, yes. Selection, career growth avenues, excellent. Excellent, wonderful answers. There will be similar answers from the students. Direction, something to choose from options. How about opportunities? Creating opportunities. Now, what do you see from the picture that is shown here? What does that depict to you? Likes and dislikes, very nice. What does the picture depict to you? Okay, this is okay. What is the second picture? Group conversation, yes. And the second picture, what does that show? Looking at the compass, right direction, discussion in a picture, exactly. Okay, now a question to introspect is, how do we make choices? How do you know how to make the right choices? This is something we'll be looking further into, and we'll be looking into peer pressure. And how do we decide the right direction? So the key message that we give students here is human beings are a product of their choices, and they're not victims of their circumstances. Every time we make a choice, we choose to be happy, we choose to be sad, we choose to be ambitious, we choose to be unhealthy, we choose to be lazy, or we choose to be joyous. It's a choice. Let's look at a story. Here, there were two brothers. One was a rich man, and the other was a drunkard. Now, someone felt, how come they're from the same family and they have taken divergent paths? So one decides to ask the drunkard what happened. He said, my father was a drunkard. He used to beat my mother, and he used to splurge all the money on drinking. She used to earn the money, but he used to splurge it away. And that is all I saw. And then that person said, that makes sense. So he goes to the other person, the rich person, and he says the same thing. My father was a drunkard. He used to beat my mother. But seeing all this, I decided I will not take that path. So it's a choice that each of them made. Let's take an example of Manasi Joshi. She's a para badminton player who made heights at the international level. She's from Gujarat. She was brought up in Bombay, and she was a lover of sports. She took part in football. She took part in badminton, represented her school, college. She went on to be a software engineer, but her life took a turn. While she was going to office, she met with an accident. Her legs were amputated. While recovering, to regain strength, she took up yoga, she took up meditation, and she took up badminton. Someone said, why don't you try at national level? She went on for it. Then she went at international level and she never looked back. Now, looking at this story and Mansi's example, what is the message that you get? Any message that you get, what is it? Key message. Never give up. Yes. Willpower. Excellent. Fight out. You design your destiny. Beautiful. Beautiful answers. So with willpower, with the determination, we design our destiny. Self-confidence. The self designs its destiny. So here we pass on the message to the students that we are in control of our lives. We design our lives. It is not situation, it's a choice that we make. Exactly. The environment, the situation, the circumstances has little role to play. We design by our choices. We take up the responsibility. Nobody else can do that for us. This now connects us with the pictures. One was the compass and the other was the peer pressure, which was shown in the picture when they were conversing with friends. So if you see that girl, she wanted to feel comfortable, so she followed others. And then there was a man at the end. He said, okay, I don't understand this. I'm not going to follow. But finally, he followed. So there's this force which leads us to follow others. So this is going to lead us to a question now a little later. Before that, I would like you to pause for a minute. Think about the students. They're just joining in the college, fresh, probably coming out of their homes for the first time in hostel. Imagine the turbulence they're going through. So they've been, surrounded by so many influences. And this is the right time to equip them with the right compass. And that is, we'll just see in a while. And also, we have certain bad habits, as this video said in the end, that is shaping our life. Can we erase all those bad habits? No. But from now on, we can set the right habits. So one question to you all again, because we are interacting. How do you decide what is right? How do you make a right choice? So yes, we do get influenced at times, but something says go for this. Or how do you decide this is the right choice for you? How do you know when you're taking the right or wrong decision? We make the students introspect. Think about it. Did you feel like standing up when the beep was there? Introspection, exactly. Soul's acceptance, wow. We go for an easy option, yes. But is that, who is giving that option? Where does the answer come from? Are we deciding by what others say? What is guiding you? Experiential learning, nice. Fantastic answers. I'm sure you all will be having, it's just because of time limit, we can't share, but exactly, social publicity, okay. I'll take one more answer and I'll go ahead. Okay, now what is right could be subjective. What is right for me could be wrong for you. What is right for me now could be wrong later. Have you all given a thought? Right? So only way to know what is right for me is what my heart tells me. It is very unique to me. It is what is required for me at that moment. Yes, I can take suggestions, situational analysis. Very nice. You are coming with excellent answers. You know, you can gauge the situation around, but only thing that guides you, think about it, it's your heart, something that you feel you need to do. Okay, and we'll be discovering this in the Discover modules more deeply. We're giving a glimpse to the students, making them think about it. Now let's go for the next sharing environment. Okay. Okay, here I missed the slide. We have an energizer where we just make them stand up. It's just to get them moving. We make pairs, we make them stand back to back. And when they have to just jump and face each other, and both of them show numbers to each other with their fingers. So say one says 3 and the other says 2. The first one to tell the total of the two numbers is the winner. So a short energizer just to get them moving. This is the sharing part that we do. Just like the living library we talked, we have something called as World Cafe. This is an activity that we do. We've set them like a cafeteria. We have tables. And then each table will have a note maker who will make notes. And then we give one question to all the groups. We set them as groups on the tables. We give them one question. And they discuss amongst each other. There is a hand raised, a question there. Okay, so they discuss in groups on each table. And the note maker makes notes of what has been discussed. And after the discussion is over, the group moves on to the next table, where the note maker will share what was discussed by the previous group. So the idea is you have one question, but you have various perspectives. The same thing we do in virtual environment. We distribute them in breakout rooms. And there will be groups in each room. And when they're finished discussion, the note maker will move to another room. So one question, for instance, I have here is, what is the role of the heart and the role of the mind? What is the role of the heart and the role of the brain or the mind? So this is one of the questions we give the students to discuss upon. Okay, do share your answers. What is the role of the heart? And what is the role of the brain? Heart is for feelings, mind is for rational. Exactly. Heart is primary and mind is secondary. Nice. Heart is to feel, mind is to think. Great answers, great answers. So the students get perspective from each group. Then we take them. So the groups will then present their ideas to the entire participants. So then we take few moments to reflect. We tell them, reflect on the choices you made till now in life. They could be positive, they could be negative. Think of a bad choice that you made that has impacted you. Think, would you make a choice differently? If it wasn't the right choice then, how differently would you make? So we make the students introspect on these thoughts, reflect on these thoughts. So the key message that we give the students through this entire choice presentation is, you have to make a choice, a different choice to design your life. You cannot make the same choices and have the same result or a different result. You cannot change your life by making the same choices. So each time you have to reflect, what are the choices am I making and where is it leading me to? So this, through activities, through videos, and the aspect of peer pressure, we give them a feel of this module on choices. Yes, SWOT analysis. Beautiful answers coming from mind is to think and heart is to reflect. Exactly. So let's take this journey further into something even more interesting, something called as casualty. No, it's called causality. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, again, question time. How do you relate cause and effect? How do you relate a cause and effect? You can give me a simple example, a day-to-day example. This is a question we ask students. I'm interacting with you all. So we would be asking this question to set a ground for this particular module. Action versus reaction. Nice. Any example from day-to-day life? Is it direct relation or indirect, or how are they related? Okay, I'll give an example. Like if you exercise, the effect is going to be building your multidimensional. Okay, the effect is going to be building your muscles. Okay, can you explain me the picture? What does the picture show and what does it depict? What is the first picture showing and what is the second one talking about? Different directions. Nice. Different directions. What happens if I take a direction? Turbulence. Nice. Focus, second one. Okay, nice. How do you relate this with cause and effect? I'll take one more answer and then I'll go ahead. Direction and ripples, whirlpool of thoughts. Nice. Mind waves. Nice. Okay, I'll share my inputs towards this. Is the first one talks about different directions. And once I have taken a direction, I made a choice. It's like throwing the stone in water. Once I have thrown it, it's going to have a ripple effect. Now let's dive in deeper. That's going to take us to the next aspect, which is called interdependence. What do you mean by interdependence? Just something. Give me an example from day-to-day life on interdependence. Influenced by other, stops thinking on new topic. Yes. Yes. So it's going to make these students think. Any one example on interdependence? Okay, but people choosing a path of majority. Yes. Nice. So when we talk about interdependence, say we're meeting somebody for the first time. I'm sure somewhere we'll be connected. We'll have a list of common things that we like. We'll also have a list of things that are different. Another interesting thing is, as a child, we are very dependent on our parents. As we grow up, we become independent. And then the wisdom dawns that we all are interconnected. We are interdependent. So we start sharing, we start caring for others. There's an interdependence between us. So to show this, am I clear now? Am I audible? Yes, thank you. We do an activity in the classroom. I will go through the activity in the classroom that we do. It's a fun activity. It leads to chaos, but it's amazingly fun. What we do is we tell them, okay, this is the limited space of classroom given to you. We take one student and we say, pick two more students. And you can pick on the basis of your like, your hobby, or anything. And now your picked two students now form a triangle. So there will be a triangle of 3 students. Similarly, other students have to form such triangles. So now once all the students are settled and there are different triangles formed, what we do is we remove one student from the middle of this entire system. So we remove that student. And now these 2 students whose triangle is disturbed, they have to find another person to complete their triangle. So they take a student from another triangle. Now that triangle, in order to complete themselves, will search another student. So it has a domino effect. So we disturbed one, and that has a domino effect. It's a very fun way of doing it in class. The way we do it in virtual environment is we say, I give you components in a system. Say, I give you 3 components, form a triangle. 1, 2, 3. I give you 6 more components. Say 4, 5, 6 is another triangle. And 7, 8, 9 is another triangle. And then we form a system, which is like this. Now, is this system stable? Is what we ask the students. Say I remove the component 1 from the top. Now, to reform this entire triangle system, to stabilize it, we see that when we remove one component, the entire structure is destabilized. So if we see around our ecosystem, our organizational structure, it's all interdependent. If you see this diagram, it shows an arrow. Everything is aligned to a common goal. Those who are not aligned either be removed. But a system is aligned to a common goal. So the key idea we are passing on to the students here is become system thinkers. Think from a bigger picture. We ask them, give examples. They give examples like family, ecosystem, our social system, our organization. Think of an hospital. Even a small garbage collector doesn't come, it creates a chaos in the system. A nurse doesn't come, a doctor doesn't come, it creates a turbulence in the system. So we have to be system thinkers. Let's draw this idea further. Now let's look a little deeper into ourselves. How interconnected we are. We saw through this activity that we all are interconnected. How do we affect others? How does others' behavior affect us? Their choices affect us. Our emotions affect them. Our actions affect others. Just to draw a platform for the next slide, just recall an incident that has impacted you. It could be bad, it could be good. Now, hold on to that and think about what caused it. How it got affected, how you got affected, how the other person got affected. Just a platform. And let's go a little deeper. In this module, this is a very important slide. We look at 3 egg-shaped structures. The innermost structure is the circle of control. This is where things are under our control. We can control this. Things we are aware of about ourselves. It's about our language, our emotions, about our well-being, our body. How do we regulate ourselves? It's completely under our control. It's our choice. Let's go a little further. It takes from I to we, the circle of influence. In this circle, I may or may not be able to control, but I can influence. I can talk out. I can convince. I can communicate. I can heartfully communicate to others. And by regulating myself, I can impact others. So for instance, in circle of control, I can control to be joyous the whole day. And I can influence that joy on others. Now I'm going to pose a question to you all. The next circle is the circle of concern. It's of concern to us. It impacts us directly or indirectly. In this circle, things impact us directly or indirectly, ourselves and the people around us. Now, the question to you all is, think about your life. Think about things going around in your life or in the world globally. What would be a great example that concerns us, but is beyond our circle of influence? We cannot do anything about it, but we cannot influence it, but it concerns us. Yeah, the question is, what would be a great example that concerns us? A global concern we have. It is impacting us. But we cannot directly do nature. We cannot directly do anything about it. Very nice. Anything else, any global situation that is happening. COVID, exactly. Pandemic, exactly. It is impacting all of us, and we are concerned about it. Any more examples? Anything that's going around, flood, exactly. How about pollution, global warming, excellent. Ecological imbalance, exactly. I'm sure there'll be many more answers. Just for time constraint, I'll go a little ahead. Let's take global warming, one of plastic waste, exactly. Let's take global warming. Next question to you all is disaster. Very nice. Now this is again we pose to the students is next question is let's take global warming. What can you do about it? What can we do about it? Or rather, what can we all do about it to take care of global warming? In order to reduce global warming, go green, exactly. Anything else? Switch to renewable energy, make students aware, very nice. Forestation, carbon footprints, wonderful, less plastic, take care of nature, amazing. Now, if you look at all the answers, these are answers that are under our control. I can use less plastic, educate the importance of trees, wonderful. These are things under our control. I can influence, yes. I can take a bag to the mall. I can do carpooling. I can plant a tree myself and influence others. So the message through this entire slide is focus on what we can control and take immediate action, and not focus on things that are not in our hands. But when we take things that are under our control, it will start influencing the other circle of influence. And in this circle of influence comes also the policymakers who make policies to bring about change. And that will impact the bigger circle. So when we take action immediately at our end, it impacts the entire bigger circle. So we moved on from interdependency. We saw through the activity that we are all interconnected. And we took action at our level. We focused on that, and it created a ripple effect. Now, let's go a different view to this. It's called as lateral thinking. Okay, before that, we make them reflect again. Think of your own life, your own career, your past experiences, the choices that you have made. Think what is under your control. Think what you can influence. Make a list of what you can do and what you can improve. And what things you can tackle first and what you can tackle later. So we make them reflect. We can take a pause during the class and make them reflect for a few minutes. Or they can take these questions later of the class, after the class. So this depends on the time that we have during the class. But we could make them pause and reflect on these thoughts, the choices they have made, and how they can tackle it. So after that, we have a story time. So this is giving a different perspective to this causality. Let's look at this. It's a very interesting story. Before we move on to the story, what we do is we make the students read this. So till now we did an activity, we made them interact. So this may not be possible one-to-one. Okay. So we make them read, one of the students reads this quote, "Our world is globally interdependent. If each component is in this is highly interdependent system,